Today, Carrie and I are heading to the Silverton, Colorado area to do Niagara Peak and Jones Mountain. Niagara Peak is 13,816 feet tall and the 101st highest peak in Colorado. The peak is very pointed and stands out from several vantage points in the Silverton area. Jones Mountain is a centennial peak, meaning it is one of the 100 highest peaks in Colorado. Lots of people climb centennial peaks, so we expect some company on today's hike. We will ascend these peaks from the Burns Gulch area, which requires high clearance four-wheel drive to reach. The total distance is only 4.5 miles of hiking, but it will be steep with 2,700 feet of gain over that short distance. Our drive to the Trailhead today will take us through Ouray, Colorado, over Red Mountain Pass, and through Silverton. This road is nicknamed the $1 Million Highway and is one of the most scenic drives in the lower 48. But it's also quite scary for some people because of the large drop-offs and lack of guardrails. Alright, now you know where we're going, how we're going to get there, and what peaks we are doing. So with all that laid out, let's get this hike started. Here we are at 13,000 feet, crossing a snowfield. A little slick here and there, but not too bad. See Carrie following me. And we are heading up there to Niagara, and then eventually over here to Jones Mountain. Carrie and I are at 13,200 feet between the saddle of Jones Mountain and Niagara Peak. So there's Niagara up there. That's probably what we're going to do first. That's the 101st highest peak in Colorado. Down there's the drainage we came up. And then over there is Jones Mountain, which is the 79th highest peak in Colorado at 13,860 feet. And if you look close, there's 4 or 5 people up on top of that. And that's the ridge we'll take. Carrie and I are back at the saddle between Niagara Peak and Jones Mountain. We just got off of Niagara, which you can see there behind me. There's actually 3 or 4 people in the frame there that you can see climbing up Niagara now. We passed them coming down. Wasn't that bad at all. There's a pretty good trail all the way up there, a few loose sections. Now we are heading over here to Jones, which looks like it has a pretty decent trail as well. But that top does look a little steep, so we'll see how that goes when we get over there. We are about 200 feet below Jones Mountain. That's the finish right there. Looks pretty steep, but there's actually a trail packed through there, and everyone we've talked to coming down says it's not that bad. So
We are just below the summit, maybe 50, 75 feet. It is steep, but there is a trail. Sitting on top of Jones Mountain, and we are having Subways that we ordered last night and let marinate in our fridge overnight. It's the way to go if you've never done this before.
It's my favorite part of hiking.
Today's hike was beautiful. Down low the grass was still green and the flowers were still blooming. We had great views, especially once we hit the saddle at 13,200 feet. I think the other thing that made these peaks so enjoyable was the route. It starts out on a 2-track road, then a decent trail splits off once the road ends. Just below the saddle, the terrain looks pretty gnarly, I gotta admit, but the trail surprisingly switchbacks up some ramps and you get to the saddle pretty easily. I'm also not going to say the terrain to the top of Niagara was easy, but it really wasn't too bad with only a few loose places. The trail to Jones is great except for that final 100 feet, which is a bit steep and loose. All in all, a great day in the mountains, and I highly recommend these two peaks. Now time to get to Silverton and visit our favorite brewery and wrap this day up.